It's program 2 from the PGA show in Orlando, Florida. This is where all the major companies come and launch all their new products and show them to the professionals in America. We're going to be showing you some of the products that are on offer from some of the major companies like Ping, Wilson and Cobra. There are also some products from a lot of other companies that we're going to be showing you in the show. It's hard to believe it's 50 years since I first met Carsten Solheim, the man that started Ping. And he started with putters. And this was the famous Answer putter. That's the most copied putter in the world. It's been going for over 60 years now. And if you go around this incredible show, you'll see anybody that sells putters sells a model that looks like this. Carsten Solheim changed the way golf clubs are made for every single manufacturer. I got the chance to talk to his son, John.
My dad developed heel-toe weighting, and from that, perimeter weighting. And I mean, there's so much that goes on with that. But I mean, he'd worked on airplanes for Ryan Aircraft and actually developed the first landing gear for landing on aircraft carriers, tricycle landing gear. But during the plane experience, realized wingtip tanks on an airplane, when they're full, the plane was a lot more stable. And when they're empty, it's not. And then he transferred that to golf because it, you know, if you hit it in the middle perfect every time, but nobody does, okay? And as soon as you go off center a little bit, you're gonna get a lot better results from having that heel and toe weighting. And then perimeter weighting, you know, goes on from that. So that, you know, the Answer putter, wow. I mean, that is, you know, no question the most copied putter for sure. We're not there just to be another golf company. You know, it's, yeah, you know, I won't let something come out if it's not an improvement. Now, an improvement might be, you got an improvement for older players' clubs, so you might bring that out for that type. It may not be better than what your standard line is, but you know, so there's different realms of that type of thing. But you got to keep getting better and better. And I mean, we push. I mean, you know, and I won't let something come out unless it's better. And sometimes that frustrates guys because, you know, they got something that looks better, but that doesn't count.
So starting with the irons, this is an interesting little story. We were looking at the test results for the irons. And up until then, G430, it was fairway woods looked great, hybrids, driver, everything looked great. The irons, we weren't really sure, and we were going over the test results, and they were so much better than the past irons. And I was like amazed, but the engineer was very blah, 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 you know, went 7 yards longer, tighter dispersion. And I was like, his name's Evan. I was like, Evan, he's gonna be mad that I'm telling this story. Like, why are you not excited? This is the best iron test result I've ever seen going from one model to the next. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm like, it's outstanding. So what he did was, one, I would say it's a very forgiving club, but kind of comes across as a little more compact, which allows you to get the club face on the ball. It's got extreme perimeter weighting, so a very high MOI, and it's got this Pure Flex badge. So the badge does dampen. It also affects the flexing on the face by having built-in joints in there. It allows the face to flex a little more, but gets very consistent ball speed across the whole face. So you're hitting it longer and straighter. So great performance improvements with this iron and great feel as well. Two main models, we've got the Max and the LST. I'll start with the Max. The Max is our most forgiving. It's got the largest head, so it's gonna have the highest MOI. We did the Impulse Momentum model today to really optimize, so it's got similar bulge and roll where it's different on the top and on the bottom. We shallowed the face a little bit, so tour players, golfers are seeing 1 to 1.5 miles an hour more ball speed. So that's always great to gain ball speed, and very forgiving. And the big improvement we made is on the sound. So a much, like a powerful dampened sound compared to a very loud sound the G425 has. And the other one's the LST. So the LST incorporates carbon on the crown. That makes the sound even better. It's a smaller head, even shorter face profile. This one really does optimize distance, gives up a little bit of forgiveness. I would say on tour, this is our most popular model right now. So I would say the faster you swing it, the more likely this is going to be the right fit for you. If you're a slower swing speed, I think the Max is going to work great for you. This is where the discovery we made, one of the engineers in our innovation group, we call it the impulse momentum model. And what it does, in the past, we used to optimize, we'd maximize MOI, optimize CG, do the bulge and roll all independently, and it would build great product. But what he did is he came up with a model that puts them all together at once, so it kind of develops them in harmony. And what we discovered on a fairway wood, we could actually give up some MOI, make it a little smaller, and make it more forgiving, and in measuring in strokes gained by hitting it longer, you're going to add or take strokes off your game because you're getting more strokes gained with this golf club. So it's actually a lower MOI, but more forgiving. It's hard to imagine, but we've optimized the MOI, the CG position, and the bulge and roll. So interesting, like the roll on it it's not consistent. It used to be one radius across the whole face. Now it's different on the bottom and is it on the top. So we call it spinsistency. So no matter where you hit it on the face, you're going to get the same or very similar launch angles and spin rates. So they come in a 3, 5, 7, and 9, and then we also have an LST version coming. It hasn't launched quite yet. It's a little stronger loft. It's a real launcher, and it's a 3 as well. Hybrid's similar design path that we went through on the fairway. The fairway and hybrid both feature a carbon crown, and then we optimize the MOI, the CG position, and the face profile all together to create a better, higher shots gained from the individual club, rather than just working on MOI and then looking at CG. We did it all together. So we recently launched the i230. I would say probably our most anticipated launch in quite a while. The i210 was a great iron for us, actually gained popularity throughout its life cycle, and I want to say it was 4 or 5, probably about 4 years that we had it, and then we actually, due to supply issues, ran out of it for the last 6 months. So we're super excited to have the i230. We've improved on, we work in incremental gains, so we try to improve everything a little bit, a lot if we can, but make sure everything in the club gets a little better, and when you add it all together, you've got a big improvement. So the i230 starts where the i210 left off. It's a nice size, compact size head, kind of like a competition type iron. Very good turf interaction, and then very forgiving. So if you miss it on the toe and the heel, it's still going to end up on the green. I really like the direction we're going. We've got a PLD line that is our high-end line of putters, high-end line that really starts with tour players, working with tour players. We've developed this line, so a lot of them are very similar or the exact same models that are being used by Victor Hovland and Tony Finau. And we're starting to seed the PLDs in the competitive college golfers. So really starting to take back that market share that used to be ours with our designs of the Answer and all these putters, Zing 2 and B60 that are throughout the whole industry. There you'll see them all around the show here, but they all started here at Ping, and we're taking that heritage back. And then we've also launched a new line of putters, which I would call is our premium line of putters, which has, I think there's like 11 different models in there, so we fit all the different stroke types. Some have inserts, some don't have inserts, so if you're looking for a softer feel, we've got insert models. If you're looking for a firmer feel, we have non-insert models. We have brighter finishes, darker finishes, so really within the one line, covering all the bases.
$98, $104, $110.
The Stack is a speed training system for golfers. It's a single piece of hardware that can be configurable into 30 different weights. This allows us to do both overload and overspeed training. It's really easy. This is a threaded handle on the end, and the app will tell you exactly what weights to load on. So there are 5 of these, and they're all labeled. And you can see there's kind of a very clear indicator on the side. So the app will say, hey, load 195 grams on. So you find the 100, the 75, and the 20, and it's real easy just to thread that back on. And essentially, it's like going to the gym with a personal trainer. So it pairs with an app. It tells you exactly how to work out, when to work out, how much weight to load on. You're guided through a workout with rest timers. We know when you're hitting a PB, so the app cheers for you. We don't really know what your golf swing looks like, but through kind of what we would call self-organization, you get to see the radar speed number. And yeah, and the idea is with some cueing, with some intent videos that we provide in the app. So I'll pop up in the app and give you some intents on how to swing, what you should be thinking about while you're swinging. Combine those cues with some feedback from the radar, and that allows people to self-organize into faster speeds. Plus you're getting a training effect. So that's that. You can change your mechanics while doing the stack, but it's the cumulative benefit of those training sessions that allow you to get faster over time.
It's spelled P-A-Y-N-T-R, Payntr. It's a golf shoe, and it's worn by the world long driving champion, Martin Borgmeier. And if it's stable enough for him, it's good enough for you.
I've been personally in the golf footwear business for over 30 years. So I've worked for, a variety of different manufacturers. And now with Payntr Golf, it's our own deal. We own it, and we get product to market, faster, and we can partner with, folks around the world on, trying to deliver a performance benefit to the golfer with our product. So it's a lot of fun. We look at golf footwear differently than our competitors. We treat golf footwear like an equipment brand, trying to deliver the golfer a performance advantage. And we feel like we're on the opposite end of the spectrum from, the fashion or an accessory to a apparel brand. We want to make sure that we start with the biomechanics of the golf swing. We understand what the needs of the golfer are, and then we wanted to deliver to that golfer a performance advantage. So we look at traction first. So our outsole technology is about, preventing rotational resistance, supporting horizontally. We have a dual durometer midsole, and then our propulsion plate really helps the golfer harness ground reaction forces in a more efficient and more effective manner. Upper materials, we have a variety from woven jacquards to Clarino microfiber, even a full grain leather. Everything that we do is focused on delivering the golfer not only a performance advantage in traction, but delivering the most comfortable shoe we can in golf. All of our shoes are treated with a never wet super hydrophobic, and it's done at the end of the line, so everything on the upper is treated with this super hydrophobic solution. So we have 2 different Cobra gloves. One is an ultra thin Cobra that's treated with never wet as well. So, it's great for playing in a humid condition so that your leather glove doesn't wet out, or if it's raining and you want to continue to play. Our glove is not waterproof, but it'll keep the glove from wicking and absorbing water. And then we have more of a everyday glove that is full Cobra as well, but a little heavier weight Cobra.
Every time we come to Cobra, we are able to interview one of the greatest characters in the equipment industry, Jose Miraflor. He talks about some of the most exciting golf clubs that we've seen at the show this year.
Let's see if we can get you a little more speed.
I want to swing faster. That's a lot.
What do you guys think?
Or you can just play Aerojet.
Aerojet's celebrating a brand new shape in these metal woods. Advanced aerodynamics is what we're calling it. We're softening the whole front part of the faces of the metal woods and then bringing the aft of the skirt up, making it more aerodynamic and making it shape like an airplane wing, if you will, helping golfers to be able to take their swing and gain a little bit more club head speed. So that's one way to gain distance, is more club speed. The other thing that we're doing is using this power bridge technology. It's a free floating weight system inside the head. It's positioned forward for a lot of ball speed. It's positioned low in the head for low spin, and yet it doesn't touch the ground. So giving us all that ball speed and not touching the sole allows us to use power shell, what we're borrowing from our irons, into the metal wood for the first time, giving that flexion, giving a larger face that we forge thin, and a lot more speed, not just in the center, but around the center, helping golfers hit more drives longer. So if you look at the LS head here, it's called LS for low spin. If you're a fast golfer, you're gonna wanna use this head. It manages your trajectory and your spin. It comes with an adjustable weight, 12 grams in the heel. If that's neutral, which is about 2 to 4 yards of fade bias. If you want more fade bias, move that to the toe, exchange positions, and that's gonna allow you to fade the ball even more. Now, if you happen to need draw, don't forget that you have the MyFly system in the hosel, 8 different settings, super easy to understand because it tells you standard, standard +1, standard -1, or even has draw settings in there to help you draw the ball. The one on the other side of the coin is the Max driver. The Max stands for max forgiveness when the weight is in the back, super stable, allows you to hit the ball highest ball flight in the line. And then if you move that heavy weight to the heel, it's gonna help reduce that slice, maybe make it a fade, or possibly a draw for the first time. So that's a great, valuable driver for those golfers that need help with that. And then there's a driver in the middle. It's just the standard Aerojet. It is the birth child of both of these, the perfect unicorn of speed and forgiveness, or if you want to hear it a different way, it's a super forgiving driver that doesn't spin a lot. The drivers all come with a 9 and 10.5 degree lofts, plus or minus 1.5 degrees, and then the standard Aerojet and the Max also have a 12 degree loft that can go all the way up to 13.5 or all the way down to 10.5. Fairway woods match the driver, so it's really easy to choose your fairway wood because the fairway woods are named the same, they look the same, and the weights are utilized the same as the drivers. So there's an LS, Aerojet, and Aerojet Max fairway, and of course the Max fairway is the one that's the lowest profile, helping hit the ball up in the air really easily, and the LS fairway is the one that helps the guys with a lot of spin and a lot of launch manage that type of trajectory. So we make them in a 3 and a 5 in all of the lines, and then the Aerojet and the Aerojet Max have a 7 wood as well. Hybrids, of course, we carry the standard variable length hybrid, and that goes in a 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down to a 6 hybrid. And then we carry the 1 length hybrids made at 7-iron length, 7-iron weight, so you can just swing a 7-iron swing and gain a little more consistency. We make that in a 3 and 4 or 5. Yeah, the new Aerojet product celebrates another new innovation in irons for us. There is this weight system that we're calling Power Bridge. It's inside the head. It doesn't touch the face. It doesn't touch the sole. It doesn't touch the toe. It doesn't touch the heel. It only attaches to the back cavity, and it's free floating. It's surrounded with TPU to deliver ultimate feel, but it allows the iron to flex and move like a metal would. So if you're looking for game improvement distance, game improvement forgiveness, the Aerojet is packed with that. So a lot of power and a lot of forgiveness. We're utilizing a brand new face that's called Power Shell Hot Face. 15 different hot zones on the face, giving you great speed, not just in the center, but all around the center, because we do happen to miss the ball off center quite often. And at the same time wraps around the bottom that gives us a lot of return to help these stronger lofted irons fly high up in the air. For most of us, we play in a variable length iron. It's that standard progression through the set as they get longer, as the number or the loft gets lower, and then the 1 length. A lot of people are still picking up this new way to play. If 7-iron is your favorite club in your bag, why not build all your clubs 7-iron length and let the loft changes dictate the ball flight and the distance? New for this year is a brand new King family. And when we talk about King, we're talking the highest level, right? Maybe except for the Queen. But at the highest level, we create irons for that type of player. So on tour, a lot of our players are using these irons. This is the brand new King MB and King CB iron. They're both forgings. They're made to be a flow set. So on the 7-iron, all the way through the pitching wedge, they're muscle backs, and then 6-iron all the way up to your 4-iron or 3-iron, you can have a cavity back iron. Made a little bit more forgiving, but you can see a little muscle here that still gives you that penetrating trajectory. The control as a better player like you growing up would be, you want that type of control. You want the precision of scoring and the feel, and that's why we've gone back to forging this year. Like I said, these are all forgings. They're hit 5 times. A lot of companies only use a 4-step forging. We have that extra step. It's 800 degrees Celsius, 2,000 tons of pressure to align the grain structure, to give you the most perfect shaping so the polisher doesn't have to shape these. We've put our shapes, we've done our job working with our golfers, designing the shapes of these, and we're just using that precision forging to deliver it. You would have Gary Woodland right now using this muscle back iron and a few other players trying out the cavity back. They do come in full sets, so if you're that type of golfer that wants to offer full muscle backs or full cavity backs, that's also available to you. The 3rd iron is what Ricky Fowler's been using this last fall and entering the first part of 2023. This is the King Tour iron. Like the other two, it's a 5-step forging, a simple 1-step forging, but we're also taking the time to mill a small undercut into the iron. We replace that metal with TPU, which makes it sound even softer, and then using that extra weight, heel and toe, to drive the forgiveness up in this iron. So a great, slightly distance improving iron. Is 2 degrees stronger than these irons, but not super strong like a lot of irons out there. So if you're a player and you want precision, but you want a little bit of distance boost, the King Tour iron is the right iron for you. With the King family this year, we're also launching in March, we're launching this brand new Snakebite family of wedges. And Snakebite hopefully gives you the feeling that it grabs the golf ball. We have some brand new grooves that we're utilizing, the slightly sharper edges, a lot more maximized volume for the debris in your wedge when you hit the ball. So it makes sure that the groove edges are touching the golf ball and give you maximum spin. The first one in the set is the Snakebite. They're specialty wedges made for the mid-handicap or the better player. 3 different grinds, a versatile grind, a classic grind with high bounce, a little thinner wedge, and then of course the wide soles for softer areas with a little bit lower bounce so that you can have those gliding wedges out of the softer or fluffier type of bunkers. Something we've done new this year in the Snakebite wedges as well is we took the iconic notch that Phil Rogers made. He usually puts it in the center. It reduces the amount of bounce when the wedge is square to the ground, but we actually nudged that notch a little bit to the heel on the 56, 58, and 60. As you begin to open that wedge up, this notch more towards the heel is going to allow you to slide and glide under that ball to hit those high saving shots around the green when you short side yourself by accident, giving you a lot of playability and versatility around the greens. The second wedge, it's our first time moving into a game improvement type of wedge. This is the Snakebite X wedge, X standing for extreme performance. And this is a cavity back wedge that we made so that it's more forgiving heel to toe. So for your game improvement golfers, people who might be playing the Aerojet product or the Forge Tech X, you have a wedge here that is super easy to hit, very forgiving because it's a cavity back. We created a brand new grind. We're calling it a teardrop grind because it has a little teardrop to it. It allows you to open this wedge. Yes, even game improvement golfers want to open their wedge up and glide under the ball. It's a little bit wider, it's a little softer in its camber. So if you struggle with hitting the golf ball out of bunkers or out of the rough, this is the type of wedge you're going to want to try. It does still utilize the Snakebite groove, so you're going to get maximum spin that a tour player would want, but in a shape and form that makes the short game a little bit easier. The classic grinds come in the classic wedge lots, 52, 56, and 60. And then the wide lows are made for short games, so around the green, so 56, 58, and 60. When we go to the Snakebite X wedge, we realize pitching wedges are getting stronger. down to 42, 43, 44. So we make this in a 48 to make a gap wedge, a 52, a 56, and a 60 as well. You know, when we launched the King family this year, we realized that even better players look to change out some of their longer irons for a little bit more advancement or in technology or a little bit more help hitting those shots. If you're a better player and you prefer a utility iron or a player's long iron that has more technology in it, this is the King Tech Utility. It's a hollow iron. It has 65 grams of tungsten inside, positioned low to center the CG, help you get the ball up in the air, and really deliver a lot of mass for that better player into the golf ball. So a great looking low profile iron that's made with a power shell face like the other irons, delivering you speed and launch. If you prefer to have a hybrid, we have this new Tech hybrid, King Tech, and it is the most adjustable hybrid we have in the family. When you look at this, you should automatically see 3 movable weights. We give you 2 12-gram weights that are positioned forward, so that's a lot of speed. But if you want to utilize them to move your weights, heavy weights towards the heel and back, it'll give you a draw bias. Position them towards the toe, you're going to get a little more fade bias. And don't forget, you have the MyFly system, which is the most adjustability you can have in a hosel. 8 different settings, including 1.5 degrees up, 1.5 degrees down, and even 3 draw settings built into this hybrid.